Hey folks, welcome back friends and neighbors to another edition of What the Hell's He Up To Now? As you might have noticed from the title of the video, we've got a little project this weekend and we're going to do a little testing because we have in fact the return of the Ruger SFAR that I featured in some videos a couple weeks back with the regular factory original gas regulator. Well, the fine gentleman that owns this weapon received the new regulator from Ruger first of this week and has been kind enough to allow me the pleasure of maybe putting that puppy in and trading out the old one for the new one and seeing if it makes any difference. So let's take a close-up look at what we're talking about here. Stand by. Okay, so as you saw in the still that I included between the last scene and this one, we got that new one, and just like the old one, it has a flat side to it on the number 2 setting, and I'm hoping that this thing makes a difference. Now, we haven't put the new one in yet because, like Paul Harrell says, good science is reliable, quantifiable, falsifiable, and a couple of other fiables. I can't remember all he says. But we've got this weapon sitting just like it was the last time I shot it, except it ain't near as dirty now. She's had a good cleaning through and through, and we're going to go ahead. We've got quite a bit of ammo to play with if we need it. But we're just going to pick this puppy up and start running mags to it on the number 2 setting with the original equipment, first gen gas regulator valve on that adjustable gas system. And hopefully we'll be able to, you know, maybe see a little difference. And I'll show you. We are on setting 2, just for you doubters out there. I wanna give you all the goodies. So that's where we're starting out, folks. Original gas regulator on setting 2. Now we'll fire a couple magazines, see if it does anything, and if it does, then we'll go ahead and switch her around to 3. And we'll have the camera on me when I'm firing. I'm not shooting at any targets. I'm just firing into a clay bank. All we're doing is testing for function. So stand by and we'll get that started. Okay. Got a camera angle reset. We are using the same M80 ball ammunition we were using last time we had our little test. And we're going to be looking, see if it still throws brass back here at 4:45, 5 o'clock. I'm sure it probably will. I can't feature anything's changed. We still have the original gas regulator in on setting 2, and I'm not shooting at targets or anything. I'm just checking for function, so I'm just firing into a clay bank, long range terraced field out there, so won't worry about that. But without any further ado, let's see how she do, and I'm sure she'll do just like she always did before. And she may trip up, she may not. She's pretty clean. Let's find out. Well, it didn't take long, did it? All right. And I have a bolt that has gone rearward, ejected a case. I saw it fly, but it's failed to pick one up by shoving directly from the complete rear of the case. It's just barely caught the lip, and it's half up in there, half not. So stand by. Let's clear a stoppage. Check that around here in a minute. All right. And I have a click, no bang. So, and no bang because no bullet. All right, this ain't gonna take long, folks. I'm not gonna sit here and shoot a goddamn single shot 308. And you can tell I'm holding this thing. I'm not letting it go anywhere. And another click. I'd say that's a plenty. All right, we'll go ahead, take it, the original gas regulator to setting 3 and see how that changes things. Stand by. Okay, now we're on setting 3, and just for reference for people that might be curious, cases are landing at, my angle of fire is right here, about 430. Yeah, it ain't changed much. They were spread out about 2.5 feet apart from the 4:30, 4:15, 4:30 to 4:45, almost 5 o'clock. We're on setting 3. Let's see if she's as gassy as I remember her to be. At least maybe she'll feed them and shoot them. Let's see where these are going. Back there with the rest of them, just a little further. Yeah, she gassy. I have an issue. I had a commentator leave me a comment, said that there's a difference between gassy and smoky. My question is, where do you think the smoke is coming from? Because if there's smoke, there's gas. If it's coming out of a gun. All right, ran that puppy through there just right, didn't it? See if she'll leave another one. By God, this is getting fun. She's smoking now. Stinky. All right, so the original regulator setting 3, yeah, she does a fine job, and she's throwing all over there still. A little hard into the 430 circle. So we'll go ahead, take this puppy to the workbench, change out that regulator, and see if that doesn't give us a little bit different results on operation and reliability. So stand by. We'll be back shortly. Bye. All right, as you can see, we've got the original gas regulator stem out, and we got the brand new one that they sent sitting right next to it. Now, I don't have my fine measuring implements with me out here in the field, but those are both the largest hole available on both of them. You can see they're both sitting at the same angle. The assembly flats are facing the same way. The 0 indicator is showing at the bottom on both of them. And to the naked eye, I see no difference in these holes. And to the naked eye, I don't see much difference in those. I don't see a hell of a lot of difference in those. Now, like I said, I don't have my fine measuring implements So maybe the change that was made isn't necessarily the size of the holes. Maybe it's the diameter of the stem. I mean, you can see there are no rubber O-rings or anything like that on either one of these. They don't come with it. They're not listed in the manual, so they don't belong there. These are small cuts, but I don't think you'd be wanting to try to put O-rings on them, because when you pull that stem out the front of that gas block, it don't wobble much. Now, this one's got 40 rounds through it today, and it's never been taken out and cleaned, so all the fouling you see on it is the fouling residue that's been there since day one, which means now over 400 rounds. And she got a little bit of fouling on her. So anyway, we're going to put that new one back in, take it around to the second setting, and see if that creates a difference. And when I get home tonight, when I clean this, I'll look at those and I'll get my instruments on them, and I'll see if I can find some difference or variance in column width or hole diameter. But man, they appear to be just about the same. I don't know what could be different. All right, stand by. All right, a little bonus. Well, I had that handguard off to go ahead and change out these regulator nozzles, needles, valves, whatever you want to call them. I took the opportunity to look and check and see if there was maybe a buildup of fouling on this weapon under the handguard. And rest assured, folks, I don't think you can get any dirtier than that. This is a stainless steel tube, and dude, let's get you a little better angle. What do you say? That puppy's dirty. I mean, it is coated in fouling from the front to the back. And you really can't see it very well here, but there's an excessive amount of fouling up here at the face of the bolt. And I expect to see a little there, just because there's a lot of gas happening there. But I'll tell you what, that's a dirty bastard. And not only there, I know it's hard to see at this angle, but you can tell the difference in the shine of the barrel here, where there's very little fouling, and the dirty, nasty look of the barrel from about right here back to the gas block. And then you can see the gas block itself has gas all over it, fouling on the front, fouling on the edges. There's fouling back here. Okay, now when I see this, I think to myself, is the gas block properly fitted? Does the block itself have a good tight grip? Because if it doesn't, well, it's not going to function. So I've got to get on with my fingers, good and dirty. So it doesn't feel like I can move it with my fingers. But while we're doing this, and while we're kind of in the moment of live, let's go ahead and check something. What do you say? That should be 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so let me explain something. The set screw in a gas block should not bust loose with 5 pounds pressure. That son of a bitch ought to be there. It ought to be there, and I shouldn't be able to make it just pop loose with a one finger and a thumb. And you saw it wobble, that means the other one's already got to be loose. Shit. Alrighty then. Well, let's see if we can get that puppy in there square and tighten her down. Who knows? Maybe we need to throw that original regulator back in there once we get this tight and see if it makes any difference. Oh, God damn it, Ruger. Who's building your goddamn weapons? Bunch of fucking garden gnomes? Stand by. Alrighty then, okay. As you can see, the underside of the barrel has dual indexing indentations so that you can get it in the right spot. Hopefully. As you can see, the one forward of the two, it's shiny. You know what that means? It means it had contact with the Allen head retaining screw. The one to the rear is just as black as the rest of the barrel. And you know what that means? It had no contact. That screw was loose. They're both loose as hell. There's absolutely no way this thing can stay together. There's no thread locking compound on these threads of the Allen head screws. Now, I'm not saying they ought to be full of Roxette, and I'm not saying they ought to be full of Loctite Red, but they should have some type of locking compound, just a little, so that when they get torqued to the 35 inch-pounds that they ought to be setting at, goddamn things will stay in place, and they'll hold that gas block rigid, and they won't allow all that extra blow-by that we're obviously getting, that you can see we're getting, just by looking at the barrel and the block and the tube. So, okay, video done for the day. We're going home, and we're gonna put them puppies in there right. We're gonna torque them to the specifications they should have. We're going to put the original regulator valve back in it, and we're going to come back out here and see if there's any difference. And I'm going to be willing to bet a brand new, fresh $5 bill against a nappy old sweaty pig turd that son of a bitch is going to run different, and it won't be near as gassy. Now, I may be wrong. It may be just as crappy, but we're going to try it first and find out. Okay, so without further ado, let's load all this BS up, throw it in the truck, get back to the house, and populate the workbench and see if we can't change the operational paradigm of this weapon. Thank you guys for coming by, and give me a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Maybe. Bye.